What's up, everyone? Today is December 23rd. It's a Thursday. It's also the last day of the trading week because, tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so the market will be closed tomorrow. Um, my advice is to, just take a couple of days off from the chart, have a long weekend. It's Christmas. Go spend some time with family, just enjoy this break. The market really isn't going anywhere. It's always good to reset and then come back better for next week. So, anyways, I took one trade today. This was actually my first trade of the entire week. I know I posted a video on Uber, a couple of days ago, but I don't know if I made that clear. That was a trade thesis. I wanted to take it. I had a plan for it. I just didn't execute it because I was watching something else. And then by the time Uber took off, I really just didn't want to chase. I accepted the fact that it worked out, and I just didn't take it. But besides that, AMD was my first real trade of the week. Just because this market has been so tough to trade, I'm still focusing on the highest probability setups. But this was my first trade. I netted 60% return on investment, which is phenomenal. Um, I was expecting a bit more considering it was zero DTE, but I can never complain about 60%, and I can honestly never complain about profits, especially in this market. That being said, let's get straight into the video. um, I always start off with the higher time frame. If you go back and watch my other videos, everything is super repetitive, and that's because I really just look at the same stuff over and over. So let's open up a blank chart, and I'll tell you exactly what I was looking at. So first thing I do is, before any technical analysis or anything like that, I just look at a blank chart. What is AMD doing on a weekly and on a daily time frame? So just looking at a weekly, daily time frame, AMD went on this massive run in October, November, early December. Since then, pulled back, but AMD is still trading at its highs. Right here, this is considered to be trading at its highs. Let me, narrow down to a daily time frame. You'll see the same thing. Yes, AMD did pull back to this 130 area of support, but ever since it's got bought up, and this is just letting me know that buyers are still interested in AMD. We're still trading near its highs. Let me compare that to something else. What's something which wasn't doing too well? Probably like Snapchat or something. My point being that there are other stocks, other equities like Snapchat and other equities which aren't trading near it or near their highs. Snap is not trading near their highs, and unless there's news or something, I'm really not too focused on it, or some longer term breakout. I look at some other names, Baba, one of the top leading tech stocks, is trading near its lows. So I'm not too focused on weak stocks. I'm focused on stronger stocks like Apple. Apple is trading near its highs. Pretty sure Google, is also trading near its highs. AMD, same goes with Nvidia. The entire, chip sector to QCOM. So all of these stocks are trading near its highs. So the first thing I do is, I identify that AMD is one of the market leading stocks right now. So, I'm interested on a potential plan on it. Doesn't mean that because something is strong, I instantly trade it. I need to see a fully structured plan, supported by multiple other things before I even consider, taking a plan on it, or creating a plan and executing it. But now that I like AMD, the next thing I do is, I just draw out some key areas of support and resistance. So, you know, if you don't know how to draw supply and demand zones, you can watch the videos in the Discord, in Trade, or if enough people want me to, I can, create a specific section on YouTube, like a couple of videos describing how to, draw supply and demand zones. But, this is super, super clear daily demand. I do expect buyers to hold this when we come and retest it. A couple of people didn't play AMD because of this daily supply right here. And while this is valid daily supply, let me go ahead and just change this to like purple for now, or whatever color this is, to indicate that this is a daily supply. I get why a couple of people were hesitant to play AMD today because of this daily supply, but keep in mind that on December 16th, we hit this daily supply and we came lower. So in my opinion, this daily supply is used, or not in my opinion, this daily supply is used, and therefore, I'm not too interested in it. I am probably interested in another supply on a smaller time frame. For example, this 4 hour supply right here, this is a supply zone which wasn't used on December 16th and is a supply zone, I'm interested in, or potential areas of profit and targets, and caution areas and all that. But, this is a valid, 4 hour supply that, in this case was my final profit target. Again, so now that I have, supply and demand areas drawn, there are probably a couple of more supply areas, but for now, let's just go with the ones immediately next to AMD. And in this case, that was this daily demand and 4 hour supply. After, I draw out my areas of supply and demand, I identify some key levels. And I like to do that on the daily or the 1 hour time frame with extended hours off. But the level which really like spoke out to me or was super super clear was this level right here. Do you give me a second? I'll zoom into it and explain exactly why I chose this level. But why I like this level is, we break above this level, acts as support here, acts as resistance, and then it had some very very defined touches. Act as support here, wasn't too clean, but act as support here again. But what I really liked was how it acted as resistance several times. This is almost to the penny, 146.7. Again, this right here was 146.69, so almost to the penny. Again, we acted as resistance right here. So several areas which 146.7 has proven to act as resistance. So, this is a very, very critical level, which I'm interested in taking a breakout play of. And now the way I combine supply and demand is, I have this key level at 146.7. It's acted as resistance in the past. If we get above this, supported by NQ and ES, we should rally to 4 hour supply. So this was my entire plan, and it worked out to literal perfection. We broke through this key level, we hit our supply zone, and then we rejected. And now this 146.7 level will most likely act as support, and it's already starting to act as support here. If I zoom down to a 5-minute time frame, buyers are holding this general area. So this just goes to show you how powerful combining supply and demand and key levels are. This area is a very, very key level. Buyers were finally able to, push price above it, and we rallied right into our 4 hour supply, which we started rejecting. So that was, the entire thesis behind the play. This was the entire trade idea. It first started off with the idea that, AMD is one of the market leading stocks, found resistance or found support at 130, started moving higher. What I also liked about this play was, NQ and ES. A lot of people have a lot of zones drawn on SPY and Qs. I like to keep it simple. I only use the zones which, are the most clear to me. And what I really liked was Qs did not have supply from 1600 for another 400 points. So that means that NQ can rally 400 points without a significant pull. And look at what we've been doing, From 1600, once we broke above it, which was a major area of resistance, we've been rallying almost nonstop. We're probably going to hit 3 hour supply soon and then reject. Same thing for ES, very, very common pattern. We had a lot of room to the upside, which I really, really liked. Finally hit 3 hour supply. I do expect us to pull back when the market is open tomorrow or on Monday. But the main thing to keep in mind is if I even zoom down to an intraday time frame, keep in mind that SPY was strong the entire day. Keep in mind that Qs was also strong the entire day. So now if I zoom down to a intraday time frame, I can really analyze my entries and exits. I entered right here. I kept it really, really simple. I entered, the level is 146.7. I believe I entered at 146.6 actually, just because I saw some size on the level 2, and this really, really just comes with experience. If you aren't too familiar with level 2 and tape, you're better off just entering at the levels, but I saw significant size stacked up at 146.6. I was only 0.1 away from my level, so if I knew we got through 146.6, there was a good chance we would move higher. Anyways, I do want to cover a couple more lessons. Just for those who are interested, I entered um, let's just go with X number of contracts. I don't really want to reveal position sizing because that kind of takes the focus away from the technical analysis and moves it to the money. But say I entered, X contracts here. I sold, I believe half of my position, not on this candle. Yeah, it was right here. The reason why I sold half almost 10-15 minutes into play pretty quickly was because of two reasons. One, it was a Friday or it was a Thursday, zero DT contracts because the market's closed tomorrow. So pullbacks can definitely hurt. And two, once we broke this level, while it was moving in my favor, I was expecting a much, much more, volatile and momentum breakout. That eventually ended up happening at 11:20, but at this time I didn't see it. So just to be safe, I sold 50% here, sold another 25% as we broke 148 on this super, super strong green candle. No, it doesn't look like much, but $1 on AMD on 0 DT contracts move extremely nicely. And then, my final target was 4-hour supply. I had 25% of my position left. Once we pushed through at 11:35, I was actually expecting it maybe like a slightly stronger move through the supply, but as soon as we hit the supply, we started rejecting, sold the last contract, or the last 25% of my position right here. And I kind of said last contracts. I kind of gave away my position sizing. I only played 4 contracts because it was Friday and 0 DTE. But nonetheless, these paid very, very nicely. I made 60% return on investment on the total play, which is phenomenal. And then a couple of other things I want to go over. A couple of reasons why some people didn't play it was because, there was a lack of momentum leading up to this level. I do agree with that fact, but one thing I really, really liked was the fact that, we were making higher lows, and, every time we would push down after these lower wicks, we'd immediately get bought up. So we were just trading in this super, super tight range, getting ready to explode. And then one more thing I want to go over is, what do you call it? One more thing I want to go over is, hive day breaks are very, very low probability trades. If you wanted to front run this key level breakout at 146.7 and took the 10 o'clock hive day break, you would have got stopped out. If you tried again at 10:10, you would have got stopped out. Tried again at 10:20, you would have got stopped out. So what I'm trying to say is you're much, much better off not front running the break. If you do decide to front run the break, you may get lucky, here and there, but I'd say around 80% of the time, you will not get lucky. You will probably stop out. You will overtrade, and then you will miss, the actual trade, which is what you had planned out, in pre-market or later, or earlier in that day. But that is the entire play. I think I did a good job explaining the entire trade thesis on AMD. I broke it down on the intraday time frame, gave you my entries and exits. I also think I did a good job explaining Qs and SPY. If Qs or SPY had any sort of fresh supply, I most likely would have not taken the trade. But as I said before, Qs and SPY had a lot of room till their next supply zones, and that was one critical factor on why I took the trade. But I'm going to end the video here. If you have any questions, just hit me up on my DMs, and I will be back to trade not Monday or Tuesday because I'm going to be on vacation. But I will be back, or I won't be there to trade Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because I'll be on vacation. But I will be back to trade Thursday. Not even sure if I'll trade next week because it is a holiday weekend, or it is the holiday week, and statistically the last week of the year is often the toughest to trade, and I might just call it with my profits in December, but I will let everybody know, and until then, enjoy the break, enjoy the holidays, and make sure to spend some time with family.